Hailing from Indrapuram, Ghaziabad, Arav is just 15. Can you imagine, ladies and gentlemen? At such a young age, Arav has done such great job for the environment. And not just that, he owns an organization and a foundation for which he will tell us about in detail. But for me, what I remember is that I would plug into some song in the corner of some room of mine, listening to some hit Ed Sheeran. But for Arav, the world is entirely different. Very welcome to you, Arav.
Thank you, Niharika. Thank you for having me here today and thank you for the opportunity.
Arav, what motivated you to start on the path of climate change and being a climate activist at such a young age?
Yeah, sure. The reason I began was when I was just 8 or 10 years old, and I might have watched a serial about climate change and global warming, where I learned about the impacts global warming and climate change could have on the in the coming future, on the future generations, as well as on the rest of the humanity. And considering the drastic impacts it could have, I was really willing to do something uh, in my locality, at least for the local environment, if not for changing the whole perception of the world about climate change or action of the world about climate change. So that's where I started by taking small actions every weekend, like planting trees and as well as encouraging my friends, some of them to join me in these drives. And ultimately, that's how the journey went into then starting an organization and including other social initiatives in 2021 during the COVID pandemic. And till date, I planted more than 6,000 trees due to these
That
sort of
is a
drives.
lot of you.
Yeah, that's it.
Arav, if you could give us a little brief about your educational background, and also if you could tell us about that one point which really motivated you to start this foundation and this organization, and what is your organization all about, and how do you think is your organization contributing to the environment right now?
Yeah. So talking about my educational background, I'm still a student. I'm 15 and I study in Alcor International School, Mayur. And regarding the organization, the name of the organization is We Rise Together Foundation. I established it with the help of my parents because I registered it with the help of my parents in 2021, and it includes three initiatives working on many environmental and social issues such as environmental degradation, menstrual hygiene, and lack of education. So, when it comes to the environment, we have this Sunday for Secure Future initiative where we plant trees every Sunday and we take any sort of climate action such as cleaning the banks of River Yamuna and cleaning the parks, etc., and collecting the plastic waste and dumping it off in the right location. And when it comes to menstrual hygiene, we have this She Hygiene initiative where we distribute sanitary pads, biodegradable sanitary pads to deprived women and girls on a monthly basis. Our target is about 300 to 350 women and girls, and till date we have given about 60,000 plus sanitary pads. And along with that, we are also trying to inculcate menstrual cups that are a more sustainable option compared to the sanitary pads by introducing it to the adult women. And in our third initiative, Helping Hands, we deal with giving away basic necessities to deprived families and children like books, clothes, footwears, etc. Yeah.
Wow, Arav, that is really interesting and so enormous at such a young age. Arav, what do you think would be that one cause about the climate that motivates you to do something about it? And also, how does the climatic conditions right now concern you?
So I guess I already informed that it is not more like in motivation, but rather like a duty. I feel that a citizen should have towards the environment, and in fact, we always demand things from the government, and like we should have the right to demand it, and we are really rightful in having these demands for betterment of environment and betterment of climate, and to get involved in climate action at a systemic level. However, I do feel that it is also the responsibility of the individual, the citizens of the country, to actually do take care and protect of the local environment, the river bodies, and maintain a civic sense in the society. So it is more like a moral obligation to me than just some thing motivating me. And right now, the how does it concern me? The climatic issues, like obviously, they are of a great concern to now. Obviously, it has been expanding worldwide. We recently have the COP28, and we could see that there are a lot of delegates, world leaders coming there, showing their concern for the climate crisis. But still, talking about action, we are still not up to the point to tackle climate change in big terms, on big levels, and hence there are two ways that we could ever overcome the climatic problems as well as environmental problems, by tackling them on the systemic level and then on the individual level as well. Yeah.
Arav, what do you think are some ways in which you can motivate your peers and other teenage peers in, taking or doing something about the environment and taking that little initiative that can cause a big change at a personal level?
Sure, like in fact, I have involved my friends and my like classmates and other well-known ones in my drives through the organization. And talking about the youth and the other people who are listening to the podcast, like one motivation, something that could motivate you. Like usually, it depends on the person. For me, it was having a moral obligation. For some people, it is about the connection with nature and their sense of belonging with the wildlife and among the elements of nature. So I guess whatever one person can do is to discover what to discover by being in nature what they would like to protect, and even researching on various topics of climate change and environmental issues, or even social issues, for example, and just bottling it down to what you would like to work on and what is necessary for you to do in your community.
Arav, a lot of times, we would say that since activism is something about being vocal about things around that others may just simply ignore, तो do you think कि activism को बहुत लोग बोल सकते हैं कि it's just speaking? Well, at the being climate activist, you would know better that it's not just about speaking or being vocal about the issues, but it is also, acting upon them. What do you think that one message you would want to give to people who criticize activists, who say things like it's just speaking? What would you want to say to them?
Well, I think that the like the arguments that people put forward when they are labeling activism as just like talking, is that they are putting the argument that actions matter more than words. But I feel that words matter as much as actions when spoken at the right time, in the right place, at the right moment. So uh, I guess activism, when it is directed in the right direction, will bring results, will influence uh, politics and political leaders around the world, and it has for some countries, and for some countries such as Denmark and New Zealand, who are very much concerned about their environment and about tackling climate change and bringing about renewable solutions for the same thing. And that's how I feel activism is playing a role, by because obviously individual action can make an impact, but it can do it till a limit. Like at a particular level, we do require governmental intervention, and to bring about that governmental intervention, we need to raise our voices in a right way, and we need to make the message reach to the political leaders and the world leaders around it, and influence the policies around the climate. Yeah.
What would be some of the initiatives you've taken for your activism, or for your all the things that you do and your organization does to reach to the people and to actually get heard and recognized?
Sure. So like we make sure that our action is like witnessed and seen by many people, and so we and I and the organizations handle we maintain a strong presence on, on social media, especially on platforms like Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and we usually connect with people who are working on the same in the same fields. We do collaborations with them, and try to impact more and more people, as well as uh, more and more environmental issues in the local level. And yeah, that's pretty much it when it comes to reaching out to people. We are still trying to accommodate more people, more both offline and online. We are also trying to bring like hire more volunteers, interns to the organization, and making them do the groundwork for the organization, as well as in and when it comes to encouraging people to do climate work in general, it's something that I share on social media by mentioning the rare highlights of climate change and other social and environmental issues. Yeah.
Uh, what do you do to people who do not understand the urgency of climate change? Also, as rightly said, that we are not in an age of global warming, we are in an age of global boiling. So,
Hmm.
just saying that, you know what, we have taken initiatives, we want the government to, notice all of these. Is it enough at this point to actually just be vocal while definitely taking the initiatives? But do you not think that we have already crossed the time, or we've already crossed the that one border of actually, doing something about the environment, and it is high time now?
Yeah, sure. Like activism has not like, even though it is crucial, it has not really made a difference uh, given the amount of work we still have to do. It has, like, even though there are policies around the world, we have the SDGs that
Right.
focus on sustainable development in all the areas, but the implementation is just not there, and we even have the Paris Agreement. uh, Now still the implementation is just not there, uh, and like we need to go from trying to change the minds of the people sitting in the table to being the people sitting in the table making decisions, and ensuring that they are being put to action. So by that I mean, like, the youth is currently trying to influence the minds of political leaders, but now I guess it is time to for them to become the political leaders, climate leaders in the world arena, and at least try to implement policies at a district or regional or state level through the power they can muster. Yeah.
Arav, we talked about big things right now. As a teenager and as a student, how difficult is it to be so vocal and be so active about the environment and such pressing issues, while also, managing your own academics? And how does your image actually change when you also are a TED talker,
Yeah.
and you also given a speech there? So how does your social image or your image in front of your teachers perhaps change? Do you get any kind of special treatment, or is it all about being the aura of the climate teenage climate activist after school hours, or is it also in the school that you get to actually feel that stardom and respect?
Yeah, in the school, I would not say that they like there is any sort of special treatment to me, or still have friends like everybody else, and uh, yeah, like people do appreciate the activities. Teachers and the administration of the school do appreciate the activities that I do for the through my organization, and we even in fact held some drives in the school itself, and people and some of the students and my friends have supported it. So yeah, it is quite informal interaction with them mainly, and yeah, but when it comes to the organizational thing, so that's the thing. Like I'm a different Arab with them, and I'm a different Arab when I'm working on these things. Yeah.
Okay, that's really interesting to know again. Uh, what strategies do you use when trying to, educate people about climate change? And how do you think is it that important at this point? When we have issues like air quality index rising, we have mass burning of trees, we would soon be not there would soon be it's predicted that soon the earth would become one of those places where artificially people have to survive. What do you think that how would that shift be there? Plus, how would you how with your initiatives have you tried to educate people about climate change?
So, with the initiatives as the organization, we have like not solely focused on spreading awareness about climate change. We have solely focused on taking actions on the ground level about the environment. But on a personal level, myself, I have like I do my part by being in webinars, by being in podcasts like this, interviews like this that help me to make my message reach to wider audience about what the work I'm doing and about what they can do as well in their local environment, or at least start the like sort of this awareness chain that could go on. So and how when it comes to how do I make people aware, like it would be usually what I call making them follow a 2A protocol. Like, so it is the first A is awareness, and like the awareness is the obvious thing that you could do when you're starting out as an activist or as a change maker, and you could like involve more people, let them know about the issues that are existing in your surroundings, may it be environmental or social issues. Take up to social media for spreading about statistics, awareness about statistics, and about problems that your community faces or your surrounding or there are in surroundings. And if you want intervention of authorities, you could write emails to them or letters to them, although that is not that impactful if you do it one time, but you need to do it repeatedly to get any response. And so awareness can be sorted out in these steps, but when it comes to the second day, that is the action, that is the more harder part of the equation, because then you have to materialize what you have just said for doing about the environment, and that requires you to like set up a routine and go and do the work for the environment, and or any social issue, for instance. And you could start by taking any small steps like I did for planting trees, or cleaning river banks, or cleaning parks every weekend, and with my team. And it could be for the anybody who is listening to this. Like if you live in Delhi, we already have these problems of the air qualities, or of the waste management or water pollution, and somebody could take an initiative on that. If uh, you know, clearing up the litter, messaging it to the authorities, and cleaning the river bank and things like that. Yeah.
Arav, your foundation, We Rise Together Foundation. You very well told about the initiatives that you've taken at a personal level and what all has been done by the foundation. But how would you ask people to join the foundation and join hands with you in this fight for climate change? as a teenage climate activist? And what are your future goals being a teenage climate activist at such a young age? What are your future goals? Do you wish to align your career in the same direction, or do you have other plans?
Yes, sure. When it comes to encouraging, answering your first question, when it comes to encouraging people to join the organization, because it is a registered organization and we usually offer certificates and a letter of recommendation to the in terms of people who are joining it, and so we make sure like we have this selection process, this membership process that people need to go through, and then we select them for the role. And regarding that, like that's how volunteership goes in the organization. And if anybody of you who are listening, we would love to uh, have you apply for the organization as well to be a volunteer in the organization. And other than that, we surely spread the message of joining the organization on our social media platforms. And when it and what was the second question? Could you repeat it again?
Okay. The thing that I wanted to ask was that do you have any other future plans other than, in the direction of being a climate activist? Or have you thought of other career options other than, something that aligns in this direction of activism and change and being a social messenger?
Sure. So when it comes to like my future plans, so currently for the organization, they are just to expand the initiatives and to make and for more people to join in the initiatives and to just basically expand on to more cities and probably more states for the organization. And but career wise, I surely do plan to become an entrepreneur uh, and via the businesses I would through business I would like to create an impact through innovation and through advancements on the current social and environmental scenarios and issues. And yeah, that's basically I would like to contribute for
Wow,
the
that
better
is
part.
really nice to know. Also, Arav, one last message as a teenage climate activist you want to give out to your audience who are listening to you there out there and looking forward to have more people like you, taking actions for environment for all of us there who don't necessarily do anything about it, but it can be an eye-opening session and an eye-opening just a session and a podcast for them. What would be that one message you want to give to them?
Yeah, so the one message I would like to give to people is like sometimes people do think that their actions could not really make a difference, and they just do not have it in them to do anything for the environment or any issue or any social issue, for example. And for like I always say that we all have the power to change the world, but the only need is to utilize the power in the right direction. So it is only through these small actions that we take initially that they convert into bigger results, that we are able to actually create an impact, if not on the whole of the society or whole of the country, then at least on a group of people or a group of communities. Yeah.
One last question to you. Do you think the deteriorated condition of the climate can be changed or can be, reversed? Or is it that the condition remains the same? Only we make certain differences here and there where it just becomes, survivable for people in the future.
So like when it comes to the major implications of climate change, and now obviously I'm not referring to any doomsday fallacy that there is like humanity will end completely because of climate change. Like, there has been instances of species surviving ice ages and the dinosaurs dying off due to the major climate change things that were going there. But but still there would be a ton of displacement due to the rising sea levels, due to the heat, and due to the already caused famines, and the soil erosion, and the degradation of the local environment in general due to the climate change. So even if we reduce, if we have the technology for us to survive, we would not have the luxury we have now uh, to live clean, to breathe clean air, to drink clean water, and to see the greenery that we see today. So obviously, I guess we need to try our best in changing what we can and what we should as of now, systematically and individually. And um yeah, that would actually be crucial in reversing climate change, or at least delaying the implications, or reducing the implications of climate change. Because even if we stop emitting any, you could say, if we reduce all the emissions even right now today, then still there would be implications of climate change that we will need to face in the coming decades, because we have already been doing damage since the industrial revolution. That would be now more than two
Right.
centuries. Yeah, so uh, that has been the time since the carbon emissions just skyrocketed, and now reversing that, just expecting it to reverse just right now, is stupidity. So we need to do what we should and wait for the results. Yeah.
Wow, Arav, that was a really, really interesting session with you. And ladies and gentlemen, that was Arav Seth from Indrapuram with us for an enriching session on climate change. I hope you enjoyed listening to him as much as I got inspired listening to him. Thank you so much for joining in, Arav. It was a wonderful, wonderful session with you.
Thank you, Niharika, for having me here. And thank you for the opportunity, and thank you to you, everyone listening here. Yeah.